This is the Hot 790 News.
Good evening. It is Thursday, December 7th, 2023. I am Daniela Edwin. Welcome to the Hot 7 TV Nightly News. We are on Flow Channel 117, Kiss FM, the Caribbean Hot FM mobile app, and the Caribbean Hot 7 TV Facebook page. Not forgetting those of you using the Hot 7 plug and play antenna, thank you for joining us. Local lawyer and human rights activist Mary Francis has shared her views on the recently handed down verdict in the Valinda Joseph murder trial. Francis says while she welcomes the fact that justice has been served, she believes that the government should commence instituting measures to ensure more efficiency in the judicial system. Eldridge Charles tells us more.
Director of the National Center for Legal Aid and Human Rights Incorporated, Mary Francis, says the verdict handed down in the Valinda Joseph murder trial was delivered better late than never. It has been 21 years since the 12-year-old disappeared after leaving her home to venture to a nearby seamstress to adjust her school uniform on December 2nd, 2002. Her body was later found by her stepfather, Eugene St. Romain, a short distance away from her home. The teenager had been raped and brutally murdered. On Friday, December 1st, 2023, a jury handed down a unanimous guilty verdict charging St. Romain with the rape and murder of his stepdaughter. The verdict was reached by DNA analysis of semen found inside the body of the teenage girl. Francis, who is also a practicing attorney at law, says while she understands the legal machinations which led to several delays in the proceedings, she welcomes the verdict that has finally laid the saga to rest. However, the human rights activist says there are still a few matters which inspire grave concern.
The only thing I was a little bit concerned about is hearing that, the verdict came about as a result of the use of the DNA evidence as the semen, which she said was found in her body. And as from what I know, and this DNA has been existing for the longest while. We didn't know of this bit of evidence, and it is only now it has been used. But I suspect what has happened, we know we have a judicial system that is dysfunctional, number one, which has to be addressed in terms of the delay and the length of time it took and so forth. And in the meantime, between the time when the matter first came before the court, I think in the interim there were some constitutional motions brought by Martinez Francois, and in terms of getting bail and also his rights under the Constitution to a fair trial within a reasonable time.
Francis believes, however, that the outcome of the case sends a strong message to perpetrators of crime that their misdeeds will not go unpunished. She says the determination and steadfastness displayed by law enforcement in this matter have inspired confidence in the system.
I think what this gives us a little hope that maybe some of the other cold cases which are there lying down in the police files, there might be some resurrection of those matters and some kind of closure and so forth. It shows that the justice can be served no matter sometimes how long it takes. So perpetrators out there must be mindful of that, no matter how long it takes. When it's an indictable matter, it could take 20 years, and when you are caught, and you have to serve the penalty.
Francis says while this case has had a closure, there are many more still left to solve. She implores the government to put measures in place to increase the efficiency of the judicial system. This, she notes, will ensure that justice is dispensed in a more timely manner. Reporting for the Hot 7 TV News, I am Eldridge Charles.
The Minister for Equity, Social Justice and Empowerment, Honorable Joachim Henry, acknowledges shortcomings in the design of the Boys Training Center in Massat Grosley, emphasizing that it is not good. As efforts persist to establish a national juvenile center, Henry informs the public about ongoing developments, stating that the technical committee has collaborated with the lead architect to rectify the design issues and ensure the efficient operation of the juvenile center once established.
At the beginning of the year, the decommissioned George Charles Secondary School was identified and approved by the Cabinet of Ministers to be used as a juvenile detention center. A month later after that announcement, in February, Minister Joachim Henry, accompanied by ministerial representatives, toured the Juvenile Rehabilitation and Treatment Center in Grenada to draw lessons from what is deemed the, quote, most impressive in the Eastern Caribbean region. Since that time, a technical committee was commissioned locally to spearhead the transformation of the George Charles School to a functional juvenile center. Updating on the committee's progress, the minister reports that the team has completed consultations with an architect to address the logistical aspects of designing the facility.
Since Cabinet has set up approved the technical committee, there have been one important meeting with the architect, and I've received report that it was very productive. Like I've said before, we are not proceeding just on a limb by the ministry itself to decide what a new juvenile center should be. We have visited a few juvenile centers around the region, and we are aware that persons do have issues, or you hear the challenges they have, and therefore we do not just want to copy what somebody else, but we want to do the best for our people, and therefore all that technical committee is very broad, and all critical stakeholders are represented, and therefore are contributing in terms of the discussion to the architect who is present in terms of solving the problem of a new juvenile center.
The Boys Training Center in Massad Grosely faced various challenges this year, with distinct where a total of 8 wards absconded from the facility. This underscored the existing security shortcomings at the institutions. Regrettably, one of these escapes led to the tragic death of a 78-year-old woman. The Minister for Equity emphasizes the need for a delicate balance as the state moves forward with establishing a juvenile center. He says it is crucial to operate the facility not only as a juvenile detention center, but also as a refuge for at-risk youth, ensuring minimal overlap between the two functions.
We have to deal with the issues of a detention center, and because we have 2 sets of wards that we cater for, those who are in conflict with the law as well as those who are there for care and protection. Currently, the design of the Boys Training Center is not good in terms of where those who are in conflict of the law, where they are housed, and those who are in for care and protection, where they are housed, and how they mingle in terms of having one sitting common area and what have you. So the design doesn't lend for having the two. So there's a contamination of the wards in terms of dealing with issues, and we want to separate that. And a design need to speak to that in very specific terms, design and otherwise, staffing and otherwise.
In the meantime, the minister confirmed the appointment of a new director for the Boys Training Center, with details of the appointment to be disclosed shortly. The minister also emphasized the necessity for his ministry to assess the management structure of the facility to guarantee its efficient operation. For the Hot 7 TV News, Karim Nelson reporting.
The 2023 hurricane season has ended, with the island being largely spared. Yet, according to Met Services, increases in named storms during the hurricane season is likely to continue. Data collected during the 2023 hurricane season also indicates new phenomena that will impact the severity of the season to come.
Despite a shift in projections for the 2023 Atlantic hurricane season, which resulted in an increase in expected activity, St. Lucia was left mostly untouched. The island was hit by only one major weather system, Tropical Storm Brett, which impacted the education and agriculture sectors. While the island did experience heavy rainfall throughout the season, most of the major storm activity took place out at sea. According to Andre Joye, Director of Met Services, this was not surprising since it was the increase in global oceanic temperatures which facilitated the upsurge in storm activity and severity. Joye says that while the region was experiencing the El Niño effect, a phenomenon which usually results in decreased storm activity, the result was negated by sea surface temperatures.
Initially, the projections for 2023 was that we would have a below normal season. But the first month into the season, the ocean surface temperatures were pretty warm. So then all the agencies that predict the hurricane season, they went for above normal season. Yes. So as it turns out, we end up having 19 named storms. Luckily, none of them really affected the region.
Of graver concern, Joya notes, is the increase in dust clouds blowing across the Atlantic from the Saharan desert. This, he says, would normally catalyze the formation of storms in small amounts. However, Joya explained, due to the rise in volume, weather experts have noticed a shift in the norm and a rather unexpected consequence.
The Saharan dust, in small amounts, it would cause more tropical systems to form. It would act as nuclei for rainfall. But in large amounts, it actually suppresses the formation of hurricanes. So this is a new phenomenon. There's a lot more Saharan dust in the atmosphere because of the high pressure system that whips up the sand, the dust. Studies are on the way where the Saharan dust seems to be causing an increase in the sargassum that we're experiencing. So when it falls out of the atmosphere into the sea, it actually nourishes the seaweed, and you get an increase in the amount. So there's a connection in nearly everything that is going on around the Caribbean.
Reporting for the Hot 7 TV News, I am Eldridge Charles.
Still in the first segment of the broadcast, the POV, we took to the streets to ask vendors situated at the Vendors Arcade, what are your expectations for the cruise season based on the projected performance of the sector so far? Here is their point of view.
From now on, I don't see it going. Maybe we'll get better later. For now, they have the boats. I like that. I like they come in, they have a look nice. But for me and for some of for us, we're not buying. The people like before COVID, we see people even boat there. My girl, we would make 25 cents. We don't make $1, but we make 25 cents. But now they have a cruise ship. Last week, they had 3. And I didn't make $1 because they had all the time, all before the COVID. We depending on we was already depending on the Puerto Rico because we know when the Puerto Rico boat come, we will make $1, surely. But after the COVID, and I believe after the COVID, everything dying. After the COVID, maybe the people just recovering like us, and they take a little cruise, but they're not buying. And I like that they come down. I like the opening. I like the way especially the hotel, the award they get. I like that. But for us, we're not doing anything. It only maybe I can't say because you have to say things to see with your eyes. To train, maybe that stop there for us. Just to help us a little bit. But all the people that come in the boat, we just going out. But it's not like before.
See nothing good. We're not getting nothing. Free boat, 2 boats, 1 boat, nothing. And imagine to spend the whole of the day. Sometimes you only make $2 US. What $2 US can do for you? To feed your family and to pay your bill. And we're not seeing the people. And SLASPA never opened the gate for us. They have a gate for the tourists to come in. It always closed, it never opened. From the last season to this point of time.
Well, what happening is the people, before the boat come, they sending all of them to Sucre, down the coast. That's what we're saying. And we not see nobody in the arcade. The arcade empty.
Probably around that time there for the arcade, it's not really swinging.
because the kind of boat that enter is more UK, but it's when the American coming in, that's the time you find the arcade will swing. But with the cruise ship, I will not say the country is not profiting, but mostly all the down and north south of the island benefiting from it.
The season open, but we're not seeing any tourists inside of the vendors arcade. As if the train is taking the people, bring them by the Catholic Church, we take them by the Catholic Church, bring them back to Point Seraphine. The catamaran take the tourists, bring them to Soufrière. They come back 3:30 in the afternoon, like the people don't have any time to come in the vendors arcade. As you can see, the arcade is empty. That's what we're seeing. No business.
Well, things ain't going good yet. Things ain't going good yet. We're not seeing it. The people passing, they doesn't buy. They just passing. And it's old people. People for pension. So nothing is passing.
That's the worst year we have seen ever. Like it's the beginning of the season and there's free boats in the harbor and we hardly see the people in the arcade. I don't know where they're going. They're sitting in the boat. I have Sayo Cafe. I can't blame the Prime Minister. At least the boat is coming. But everything has changed. After the COVID, everything has changed. Nothing is the same. So we're still trusting in the Almighty God. So said when they said there's a casting down, we have to come on rising up. So let's see what happens. It's still early.
Don't forget to head over to our Facebook and Instagram pages at Caribbean Hot 7 TV to share your thoughts with us. Coming up next, tensions intensify in the Guyana-Venezuela dispute over the mineral-rich Essequibo territory, and the Ministry of Health dishes out free tips regarding food safety during the holidays. The details to these stories and so much more coming up right after the break.